Okay, so we're taking the STG 44 apart again. I went and chronoed it because it had compression issues. I put in a spring that was labeled 430 FPS, but I had handled all the compression, so now we're at 500 FPS. So, now with all the compression fixed, what I also did with this was I changed the air nozzle to a Lonex version 2, and I used the Lonex M16A1 air nozzle, not the A2, the A1, the shorter air nozzle, with an O-ring. And then I'm going to put in this random spring. Not sure what it is. I hope it's a good one. This was the stock spring that was in it. It's pretty stiff, but I don't like it. I like the gradient on this. It's an older motor. We don't need to overwork everything. Usually most of the springs that come out of that one are usually under 400 FPS. So I'm going to take this guy apart, put that in there. You're going to need Allen wrenches. This guy here, heat shield just pops off. Okay, this is how my new version of how I'm taking this gun apart. In a previous video, I took the whole dang thing apart. It was crazy how much of it I took apart. All right, put that back on. Take off the mag. Almost looks like you could take the whole mag release off and you don't have to actually remove it. But yeah, so I went in, fixed the compression, replaced the O-ring with a slightly larger element O-ring, made sure the seal on the air nozzle was good, no more play, everything was good, and we wound up being 505, going from the low three, medium threes, under 3, like 320 I think, or whatever it was, to now we're at 505 FPS. So basically air nozzle with an O-ring. All right, next, take this set screw out right here. There's one set screw here underneath that, so I'm going to pop that out. Take this Allen wrench here, tap that ever so forward slightly. Now look, gives me room to release that. Okay, so you don't have to take the whole thing apart. Next, I'm going to map this too. Map as much as I can. You don't want to lose stuff. Technically, I don't really need to take that out. Maybe I do. I don't know. All right. Now this cover has 2 screws. This one here, flip it over to the other side. Right here is a Phillips. Does come apart fairly easy. Get this guy out. This has to come out. You won't be able to get the well, if we were to get the hop-up out, you can't get the hop-up out without removing this. Next is this guy here. Then that comes off. Pull this forward. Push that in. Slide that out. Now we're good. Gearbox is out. Next, pop that off. Pop this guy off. I'm going to look at rerunning these wires. I actually don't like the wires that go the way they go through here, so I think I'm going to rerun these wires. Don't like it. I'm going to rerun it a different way. So, same time as before, I don't like this. I'm going to move this guy out of the way. Now the motor. 4 Phillips, 1, 2, 3, 4. Previously I Loctited all this stuff in with a tiny bit of blue Loctite. Second time through, this thing is going so much faster than it was earlier. Come on. Except for this part here, which now seems to be giving me a tiny bit of hard time. So, there we go. Phillips head screwdriver. You know what I'm going to do? Because I marked it, I didn't mark it last time. I am going to mark this time. This actually reminds me, which I should go back to doing, is actually getting fingernail polish. I used to keep fingernail polish on the workbench all the time. Because with this, you take fingernail polish, dab it on there with an enamel, comes off, dries super quick, and it doesn't come off easy, and that way you always have things marked. So it's actually very important to mark things so you know exactly where they go, particularly with stuff like motor height, angle of the motor, and particularly when you don't have a super awesome motor cage like this guy here. Not an awesome motor cage by any stretch of the imagination. This motor cage is poop. Did you know that, Lewis?
No, I did not know that.
Yes, the motor cage for this gun is poop. Is poop. Now you know.
New game is ready if you want to play.
Cool. Alright. That's all the way forward. That is good. Alright, I'm pausing because Lewis will edit this later.